So one thing that you can do when you're going and talking about viruses to students is that you can go and model it. Make sure that when you're going and doing this, you use a nice large model so it's easy for them to see. Break down all of the concepts into smaller steps, so break it down into lots of smaller points rather than just going for it all at once. And think about lots of questions and such forth that you can go and ask students while you are modelling this to help them understand it. Right, so the next short video, we'll just go and show you how this can be done.
So, when you are teaching about the structure of viruses using the model, right, it's important you go make sure that students see just how the structure of that virus is different from that of bacteria and fungi. Right, key things that are important to go and speak about as you're going through. The fact that your virus has only got a small section of DNA, and because it's only got a small section of DNA, it can only go and make a few different types of proteins. You can talk about the fact that within the center of this virus, you're going to go and have an enzyme in that helps the DNA replicate. You can talk about the fact that the protein coat is only made out of one type of protein that all go and interlock together. Right, it's worth spending a little bit of time just going and talking about the antigens on the surface of our virus. It's important that you're stressing that the virus is using these antigens to go and enter cells. It might also be worth talking about the fact that some viruses have that layer of fat, so that fat's made out of phospholipids, so it's similar to the membrane of a normal cell, which helps it go and move down into the cell. Right, finally, it's worth just really stressing about the fact that viruses are a lot smaller than bacteria and fungi, and you might want to go and write on some size comparisons as well.
After you've gone and you've physically gone and modelled the concept to the students, you can use a sheet that looks a little bit like this to go and get students to go and model it back to each other, right? So get students either working in small groups or in pairs. Leave your model there on the table that you've annotated or whatever. Then get students to go and annotate their own small model using what you've done. Give them a few easy questions or some key things that they need to go and think about. Then after a few minutes or 10 minutes or such forth, go and get them to go and model this concept back to each other so they're explaining to themselves.